Hello, and welcome to Daily Strategies for Working Remotely. This is something we're doing as Silicon Valley Change Executive Coaching. Ilene Schaffer is one of our incredible coaches. Hello, Ilene.
Hello, so good to be here.
And her talk today is on 3 small things, small tweaks that you can do to your routine for big impact on both your physical health and your well-being. And as part of that, to take it away, Ilene is going to start us all off with a stretch. So feel free to get ready to move, and then you have 20 fast moments with Ilene. Hi, Ilene, and thank you so much and welcome.
Hello and welcome everybody. So Senya, I just saw you doing your shoulders. So I think that actually sounds really good. Just as a quick start is let's just bring our shoulders up to the ears, and they might already have been there when we started. And then we're going to roll them all the way back down. And let's do that just 3 times. Up to the shoulders and bring it down. Up to the shoulders again, bring it down. And I've lost count, so we'll do one more. Up to the shoulders and bring it down. And what we do find is as the day progresses and stress happens, our shoulders start to creep up. And I have some workout teachers who call them earrings. Our shoulders are not earrings. So we want to make sure we get them down. The other stretch that I'd like us to do, because so many of us are sitting at a computer, is let's take our right ear to the right shoulder. I like to kind of put my hand here just so my left shoulder doesn't join. So like that, and just real gently bringing your ear to your right shoulder. And then we'll just do the opposite side. Ear to the left shoulder. And you can really feel that in your neck. And then why don't we just balance it out with just one looking down and one looking up. And then come back to center.
Thank you.
Yeah, there you go. All right, should I launch on in? Senya? Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay, perfect. So let's get started. And as Senya said, I always like you to be kind of actively engaged. And with that, given that this is talk about physical health, if it's accessible to you, walk around while you're listening, and you could be watching at the same time if that's possible, or feel free to kind of stretch your lower body if you're sitting down, but you might want to do some kind of physical something while you're listening if that's accessible. First off, just want to talk about the title for 1 second. I titled it Play Small to Stay in the Game. And the reason for that is that saying go big or go home drives me crazy. Beautiful thing to think about, go big or go home if you're an Olympic athlete. Yeah, you need to go big or you're going home. The rest of us, most of us will go home. And since we're home already, given what our situation, you're already at home and we want you to do something, and teeny tiny things make a huge impact. And if you want to read more about this, I'm so excited. I just got BJ Fogg's book on tiny habits, which I've never, well, I haven't read it. It came out recently, but I've been talking about this for so long, and I love when the research backs what I'm saying. So he has done phenomenal research on why doing teeny tiny things can make a huge difference. So I don't want you going big because you're already home. What I want you to do is play small and stay in the game. So here we go. We're going to do 3 things today. I always say buckle up. There's a lot to cover. Maybe you have running shoes on in the spirit of today's talk, because we are going to be running. And at the end, we'll exhale and then certainly ask questions. So 3 key things that I want to go over today. First is your why, and I'm going to explain what that means. It is essential to you staying on a path that you want to be on. The second is my why. Why did I pick this topic? So I'm going to talk about that for a moment too. And hopefully my why is to benefit all of you, of course. And then lastly, the tweaks that Senya mentioned, just quick tweaks that you can do that will hopefully have a really nice big impact on you. And as you think about this, we're talking about physical health. And I worked for a couple of years in a large hospital wellness program and helping people with weight loss. And I always talk about, instead of it being a weight loss journey, it's a wellness journey in my mind. So you're on one path is the other path, and then you have your wellness path. So today's talk is really about wellness and feeling good physically. So now take a moment, and I want you to write down one word that just kind of captures how you're feeling right now. And it could be in this exact moment or just given I've lost count of how many weeks we've been home. So this whole big thing or just in this moment. So one word. If you need 2 or 3 words, that's cool. So if it's feeling like I'm out of control, you get those 3 words, write them down, whatever it is for you. Now I want you to take a moment, and you can write, if you have a sticky, go ahead and put it on a sticky pad. Now take a moment and write down one word when you feel like you are physically healthy. You are really well on your way on the wellness path. You're just kind of at that peak, feeling good. And if for some reason that feeling, you're like, oh, I can't even remember what that felt like, go back in time. I don't care if you were in high school when you felt really healthy, if it's been that long, or maybe it was before all the COVID stuff, but just recall one word or one feeling when you're at kind of top of your game physically and feeling healthy. Now take a moment and look at both words. And if they are both energetically similar, so meaning yet it's like, I feel great right now. And when I feel physically healthy, I feel great. Perfect. And I'm going to want you to chime in at the end and share your secret. My guess is most of you, it's not energetically similar. So most of you might be feeling anything from overwhelmed, not super focused, a little out of control, maybe not as confident as you used to feel. There's probably a lot of feelings that you're feeling right now. And when you wrote your feelings of how you felt when you were healthy, that's probably up here. So maybe where you are is right now is here. And then you're when you're at the peak of health, you're up here. So it might be, I feel on fire. Okay, that gave you 2 words instead of 1, on fire. Feeling in control, feeling strong, feeling motivated, feeling energized, focused, all of those things when you feel healthy. That is the power of physical health because it trickles into every aspect of your life. So now we're going to take that word and we're going to build on it with your why. The why is the thing that is underneath everything else. So if somebody says to you, well, why do you want to be healthy? It's like, well, because I want to feel good. Well, what about feeling good is important? What changes in your life when you feel good? We want to keep going deeper so we get such clarity that why, you're not giving it up for anything. You are so motivated to, whether it's move your body, whether it's nourish your body in a healthy way, whatever it is, to make healthy choices because that why is so important to you. So again, that why is what keeps you on the wellness path, particularly when the noise of the other path is saying, come this way, come this way. So a powerful why might be, I want to be here to watch my kids grow older. And right now I have some health complications. That why is pretty powerful. When your medical team says you need to be doing this, or you're not going to be here to watch your kids grow older. That's important. Or even just energy wise. I had a client who said, oh, I just want to lie on the couch and my kids want to run around. And then she got on this on the wellness path and she said, they can't keep up with me. Okay, how cool is that? So what is your why? What's underneath everything that is going to keep you on the path? And when you envision, say, a street, and you know those bumps in the road, so if you're talking to a girlfriend or your husband or wife and you're like, oh, boop, I went over those bumps in the middle of the road and it's like I need to course correct. That's your why. Your why is going to be those bumps that help you course correct and get back on the path you want. My why did I want to do this today? Because we're offering an amazing array of topics. All of Senya's team have just phenomenal topics, everything from productivity to how to lead meetings to how to energize your teams. And there's so many great topics. And I thought the one that we're missing is on the health. And the reason we need that is it impacts how we show up at work. So when we feel healthy, whether it's through how we nourish our body or physically moving, it lowers our stress. We're more efficient. We have more energy. Our mood goes up. Our concentration, memory, creativity, problem solving. I could go on and on. This is why taking care of ourselves is so important. So whether you're working at home, whether you're caring for your family, I don't care where you're coming from on this call, but my guess is you do want your stress down and you want all these other things to be going up. So that's why I wanted to do this talk today. I also want to invite you to think about why today and now and the situation we're in is the ideal time. for you to get on the wellness path. So just join me for a moment. Think about this. In your work, most likely there's a Starbucks, at least one across the street, maybe 5 across the street from you. And that colleague of yours that says, let's go get that caramel macchiato, whatever that is, I don't know, but I hear people talk about it. You're going and grabbing that. Not so accessible right now. That cafeteria that is filled with things that you didn't put there, but they're there and now they're calling your name. That's not there anymore. You get to control your kitchen. The break room party. People would talk about, oh my God, if one more person has a party or a birthday party, it's all in the break room, all the stuff I don't want, and it's hard to control. That's gone, okay? Last thing, there's plenty of other reasons, but hopefully these will convince you enough. My guess is sometimes you forget your walking shoes. If you were gonna walk at work, you can't forget your walking shoes. They're in your house. So there are so many reasons that now and today is the time to kick off a wellness program. Okay, so if I haven't convinced you yet, we'll talk more about that later, but hopefully you're on the path with me. Here are the 3 areas that I want you to tweak, and they should be very quick tweaks for you. We're gonna start with the lowest hanging fruit, breathing. You do it every single day or you wouldn't be here right now, okay? Our breathing is so important, but it's not just inhaling, you gotta exhale. So I'm not going to talk long about breathing because it is something that you already know how to do, but Senya is going to pop into the link 2 great resources for you. One is Andrew Wiles, Dr. Andrew Wiles' 4-7-8 breath. Love this breath. It takes you from feeling stressed out to calm within minutes. And that's the whole thing with breathing. We want to calm our brain. It helps us with stress reduction. It also helps with craving. If you can breathe through your craving, it can take you down, okay? And you don't need to go for something that you feel like isn't gonna serve you well in terms of nourishment. So there are 2 breathing apps that Senya is gonna put on there. Andrew Wiles 4-7-8, and then also Breathe Plus. So those are your 2 apps. I wanna tell you a quick story about why breath work is so, so important. I had an injury on my hand. I went to an acupuncturist and she said, are you a smoker? I said, never smoked. She said, are you sure you never smoked? I said, I mean, you would know if you smoked or not. I have never smoked in my life. I said, no, never. She's like, do you live with a smoker? No, never lived with a smoker, nothing. And then she said, have you lost somebody recently? And I said, well, my stepdad had passed away. She said, oh, you can see it in your lungs. Your lungs are grieving. And so I asked her more about it. And what she said is that I'm probably holding my breath in. And so that's the impact on our lungs. It also impacts our brain and how we think. So you want to make sure throughout the day, you are not only inhaling and taking these big inhaling, but along that rest and digest, exhale. It is critical. It's critical for your lungs and for your brain. Okay, so hopefully you'll be able to do some good breath work. And I want to just tell you 2 ways to remember to do it. I always do the 4-7-8 that you're going to have the link for. The minute I get into bed at night, I lie there and I do the 4-7-8. In the morning, I also do it before I get out of bed. I have paired it with 2 things I always do. I always go to sleep and I always wake up. So pair your breathing with something. So you might want to try Andrew Wiles and do it that way. The other one, the Breath Plus, will send reminders about breathing to you. So you're going to have that on your phone. That will be one of my primers, your phone, and it can pop up. You'll set a timer and it'll pop up, remember to breathe. Sounds crazy, but we forget that exhale. So that's your breathing. Easy tweak because you're already doing it. You just want to tweak it a little. Now we're going to go into the next step, nutrition. So how you fuel your brain. And a colleague of mine used to say, pretend your body's a Ferrari. I'm not a Ferrari fan, but pick your favorite car, whatever that car is. Pretend your body is that car. You are not going to put junk gas in your car. You want to make sure that you are treating your body to the best fuel you possibly can. You get one body in this life, right? So you want to make sure that that nutrition really fuels you. So couple things. One, like I said, you don't have that cafeteria anymore that's at work where they're bringing in stuff. You don't have the break room where they're bringing in junk. You have your home that you have control over. I'm huge on product placement. So I have my strawberries as my visual today. And how yummy do those look? Delish. So I put them right in the front of the refrigerator. So when the family goes to get food, it's right there. If I wanted to put a little more work in, I'd wash them and slice them up. I haven't done that, but maybe I'll do that later. Anyway, so that is what you want to do with product placement. Now I'm going to show you this. Cookies. Now, if that was front and center, and now you've got the choice between, I can't do it without the strawberries falling out, those two, chances are you're pulling this one, right? So you want to make sure that your product placement shows what you want. Tell your brain, this is what's here, this is what's convenient, this is what's easy. And what I love about webinars, you're probably throwing daggers at me going, are you kidding me? I'm going for the cookies 100% of the time. But that's the beauty of webinar. I don't see that. I don't see you. However, it's fine to have a cookie, but don't make it as convenient, and make sure that you're fueling with stuff that is going to serve you well in the long run. So when you are hungry, there's a couple questions that I want you to ask yourself. We talk about psychological hunger or physical hunger. Food is the only thing that will fill up physical hunger. Food. Psychological hunger, food will never fill up, right? So what you want to do, if you're finding yourself munching a lot, and I can go down this path, let me tell you, and chips sound awfully good a lot of the time, that salt, I think. So what you want to do is in those moments say, first off, what am I feeling? Name that feeling. Second, what do I need now? And then third, when you say, what do I need now? What is going to let me feel good for an extended period of time? Okay, because that what I need now might be this, and now you've had the whole bag, and how do you feel in an hour? Probably lethargic. I don't want to get off the couch. My head hurts from the sugar rush. I'm disappointed in myself. You can go down that rabbit hole versus, you know what I need now is actually to talk to a friend because I just had a meeting that set me off. That's what I need, is I'm feeling angry and I want to talk to a friend. Whatever it is, okay? So that is the fuel. So fuel your body in a way that gets you what you want as results. Last thing is movement. Move your body. And notice I didn't call this exercise. Exercise has a weird impact on people, the power of words. So exercise can feel like 7th grade gym, which who wanted 7th grade PE in the first place, right? So really let's switch it into movement. We know we need to move our bodies, and it can be fun. One thing that people are talking a lot about and have been for the last couple of years is putting smoking on the same platform as sitting as long as we do, or putting sitting as long as we do on the same platform as smoking. And there's a debate on, is it really as unhealthy as smoking? We know smoking is not healthy for us. However, just the fact that it is on the same platform and being discussed like smoking, the impact of sitting on our bodies, that's a problem. So what we know is you want to get up every 60 to 90 minutes and move your body. So my suggestion on that one is to do a couple different things. One is you can set a timer, obviously, and maybe set your timer not in the room where you are, so you have to physically go up and get the timer, and then that triggers you to walk around. You could also set walking meetings up every at the top of the hour or every 15 minutes after the hour, and have a regular meeting that is set to walk around. The other thing you can do is stretch during your meetings. The beauty of being home is I am dressed, well, right now I put on full workout gear just to be in the spirit of this. However, at work, this is one more benefit of working from home. At work, your body needs to be work appropriate. At home, waist up, work appropriate. Bottom down, workout ready, okay? And have those shoes ready for you, waiting to go. My recommendation, wake up in the morning and put on that workout outfit so you are ready to roll. Who wants to go work out after a shower, makeup, suit, tie, whatever you're wearing? Once that's on, it's very hard to motivate, okay? So get yourself physically prepared to move. So those are my things. I'm running over, so I am going to drop here. The one last thing I'm going to talk about is hydration. And what I've done, I told Senya I decorated my glass. So this says mood boost, and it says brain food. 2 reasons to hydrate. That's part of that nutrition piece, and it's also part of the movement piece. So have your glass, and I use just some appropriate pens to put on here. to remind me to move my body. So 3 things. Make sure you know your why. Breathe, but not only inhale, exhale, fuel your body, and definitely move. And the very last thing, we will be posting later on the Facebook page a link to Move Your Body, Love Your Mind, which are going to be 1-minute exercises for your mind and body that will be coming out soon. So I'll make sure and post it on our Facebook group. Thank you, and I look forward to questions.
Thank you so much, Ilene. Thank you so much. This is the first question we always ask you right at the end. What are you going to do differently now that you've been here at this mini webinar with Ilene Schaffer? What are you going to do differently? Is it going to be breathe? Is it going to be the product placement? Is it going to be movement? What will you actually take away as your small tweak? So please let us know that in the comments here. And as you're letting us know that, I'll start with the first question to Ilene. Ilene, this is a lot, but also so much. They're very small, but it's rich at the same time.
Well, it was I have to say, this was the toughest one to stay in 20 minutes. I'm like, oh, I want to share more. So I apologize. I think I've got a few people probably that need to go back to work. So I apologize. It's a lot, but teeny tiny things that will truly be life-saving, that could switch up your chronic illness if you do a teeny bit of these tips that I talked about.
Breathing, choosing your product placement, what you're eating, and movement. What are you calling the second one? I wrote down product placement. What are you calling the second one?
I called it fuel because I love nourishment too. I love words. So nourishment I think is great, but fuel, when you do start to think about, I'm fueling my body. And I know if I were to eat a bag of chips, I wouldn't do that before this talk. I wouldn't have my brain in the place I need it to be. And so really think about, how do I want to fuel my body?
Yeah. Here's what some people are saying. People are saying they're going to breathe, they're going to move. So 1 and 3. So far, we don't have takers for the strawberries yet.
Oh yeah, nobody's doing some product placement with the strawberry.
Not yet on the fuel. The people are saying they're going to set up timers in the other room. I love that idea. I really love that idea. I do that in the morning in order to get out of bed. I don't set it right next to me. I love that idea. Okay, one of the people is saying more strawberries.
More strawberries? Yeah. Berries are good antioxidants.
Yeah, we do cucumbers in our house. Like, that is the go-to snack. It's always available. Yeah.
It's funny. Our go-to snack for my girls are apples. I probably and they're fully capable of slicing apples. They're teens, but for some reason there's that, I don't know, nurturing thing. They ask my husband and I to cut apples for them all day long. And so we consume pounds of apples.
Another person saying that they did wash and put grapes in the fridge this morning.
Yes. That's
Also, I loved so I'm going to try, I wrote it down, but I'm not sure if I remember it exactly. Waist up, work appropriate. Waist down, workout ready.
Yep, totally. That's the beauty of working from home, right? And on a phone call, my gosh, you could I was thinking of this yesterday. I haven't tried it. You could do a wall sit while on a phone call. Just put your body up against the wall, get your little leg workout.
And people forget this. If I need to go and get more water, even now, I wouldn't do it now because I'm with you live, but if I'm in a meeting, I will put my video on mute, on stop, and I will mute, and I will go and get water. Absolutely. Why wouldn't I do that and just stretch a little bit, or just sort of like move around? But we forget about that. We think, okay, it's Zoom. We have to be totally on.
It's exactly. I have a client of mine, one of my SVC clients who we talked about the health action, and she said, I'm going to start doing a yoga pose, at least one pose while I'm on a call. Perfect. No one can see you, and it activates your brain. So it's a benefit to, your work as well, to the person you're talking. You're helping you're doing a favor to the person you're talking to. So. I'm
going to ask another question by the way, we're getting more comments on the strawberries. So the strawberries are a big hit.
Good.
One more question to our readers and to our viewers. In addition to that small action that you're going to take, what are you going to use as a trigger? So Ilene suggested a few different triggers, like when you're going to walk or when you're going to do something. What are you going to use as a trigger? Is it the start of a call? Is it when you get off a call? What do you want to use? Do you have others that you...
Oh, sorry. I was going to say one other thing that's interesting too. Yes, actually, Senya, thanks. Let me answer your question first, and then I'll say another. Make sure you look at your regular day and what are normal habits that you have that can be triggers. Your normal habits can be triggers. So brushing your teeth can be a time that you might want to do a squat, or it might be a time that you stretch the one arm that you're not using while you're brushing your teeth. You know, so when I brush my teeth, I do this habit. I'm trying to think of other habits. Oh, the other thing that I love too, in terms of a trigger, is if you have kids, and I know Senya has small kids at home. I don't think this will work as well with my teenagers, but you can put on the agenda 12 o'clock dance party. Then you know you're getting out and you're like, kids, we're doing a 12 o'clock dance party. Or kids, at 3 o'clock, we're going to do lunges across this room. Whatever it is, but let your kids know. That was the other thing I was going to say. What you want to know for yourself is 3 things. One is, what do you need? Or you want to think about, what do I need to stay on track? So is it an accountability partner? Is it a goal? Or is it some kind of reward? What keeps you motivated? So know your motivation. So if it's accountability, bring in your kids, your spouse, your partner, your roommate, your friend who's on a phone call. Hey, let's do this at the whatever time together. So know what you need. If it's a goal, this is a great time to say, you know what, I've always wanted to do a 5K. Sign up for one next year and start training now. So it's a really good opportunity to think about what motivates me and let me engage that. So those can be triggers to also engage you. The one other thing I did want to say, which is a benefit to those of us who are not humongous athletes, is the research also does show, even if you run 10 miles in the morning, 15 miles in the morning, which is so not me, even if you do, you still need to get up every hour to 90 minutes. That is not going to take care of you for the whole day. So for those of us who don't do 10 miles, and I might have a client on this call right now who is a phenomenal runner. So everybody except her, the rest of us who do not do that kind of exercise in the morning, no problem. You don't need to do that. You still are going to want to do these baby things throughout the day. So all of us have to do these baby things throughout the day, even the professional runner. So I wanted to make sure that was clear.
And I want to double click on what you said. For those of us who are signed up on this webinar, we will send out the links to these 1 minute. I know what Ilene's talking about, what she and the team are preparing, and we will send out the links to these 1 minute. We want you to be able to run a quick video and do that stretch or take that breath. So you're also going to get that from us.
Yeah, and that we're in the process of producing. So it's through the Masters in Positive Psychology. So it's a great, they're going to be great 1 minute things. So we will make sure and get that. I can leave everybody with a walk, Senya, if that would be a good idea, that people can go do on their own, unless we have more questions.
That sounds like a perfect ending. So we have a question that I think is a bit of a joke, but someone asks, is it bad to say I might breathe when I have a glass of wine at night? So
no, and that might be a friend of mine on the line. I love that. Yes, because you will. You'll have your sip and then you'll exhale. So that whatever it takes to help you exhale.
Please do, Ilene, leave us with a walking thing that we can do, and that will be our conclusion for today. Thank you.
Okay, so, and you'll see more walking tips on this Body Full of Joy link that we're going to put out. So one thing, I use walking a lot for a variety of things. So I'm going to give you a walk that you can do if you want to move your body and de-stress at the same time. Usually they go hand in hand anyway, but this is more of a meditative walk. So sometime today, head outside and pick one thing to focus on, only one thing. So the other day I did it with green. So it's the green trees, the green grass, anything I saw green, that's where I put my gaze. You could do rocks. I want to just focus on rocks. I just want to focus on flowers. Whatever it is, one thing for your entire walk. And what that does is it allows your brain to just calm and get to a place where it can just be really present and mindful. And I promise you, when you come back in, you will feel like a new person. So enjoy your walk, happy stepping, and thank you, Senya, again for this phenomenal series you've put together.
Ilene, thank you a ton. This is awesome. Thank you so much. We look forward to continuing to see you for 20 minutes at 11 a.m. Pacific. We're going to keep doing these, so see you tomorrow and on future days. Thanks a ton, Ilene. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Cheers, everybody.
All the best, everyone. Ilene, a follow-up question. So you're saying that three good things are accountability or accountability partner, goal, and reward. What are good things to reward yourself with? Because what if, someone wants to reward themselves with buckets of ice cream? What are good rewards?
That's such a good question. And again, part of the key with the reward is really thinking about how am I going to feel after? So if our goal is to feel good long-term, you want to make sure that you pick a reward that facilitates that. So a reward might be, let's see, I want to go for a walk with my my spouse or my friend. Again, right now we can't do it in person, but on the phone. So once I have done X, Y, or Z, I'm going to treat myself to a time with my friend. Once I've done X, Y, and Z, I get to finally dive into that book I've been dying to dive into. So I'm going to make sure that I'm doing these things first and then reward with something that feels good after and will let me keep feeling good. That is the key, keep feeling good.
So reward also fills in, or reward also goes into the fuel. The reward has to somehow also fuel.
I would say so, because otherwise I'm going to bring up my thing again. We want to stay on the wellness path. And so if we're going to stay, my manicure, as everyone's manicures are horrible right now, pardon my manicure, but we want to stay on the wellness path. And so that's going to require a reward that keeps me feeling good. So that's what I would recommend. And it also can be after I do, whatever, I'm going to reward myself with a peek at Instagram. If that's something that you like, that's absolutely fine. But make sure you do what you want to do first and then give yourself that treat after and have that treat keep you on the wellness journey.